You're watching M&M Midday. Up to the minute, breaking news from around the world. Good afternoon and welcome to Midday. At the top of the hour, oil tanker A Symphony crashes outside of China's Qingdao port and spills oil. China's Shandong Maritime Safety Administration said on today that the tanker named A Symphony, capable of carrying about 1 million barrels of crude oil, was struck by a bulk carrier just off of Qingdao port, causing it to spill oil into the Yellow Sea. All of the tanker's crew had been accounted for and no injuries had been reported, the ship's manager said in a statement. The Suezman tanker class, which is the largest naval ship measurement capable of carrying and transiting the Suez Canal, was last seen near the port of Qingdao. Now, the 272-meter long and 46-meter wide oil tanker was sold in May of 2019 to its new owners, Symphony Shipholding SA, now an NGM energy company. The emergency forces are currently securing floating booms around the ship in an effort to contain the spill with floating booms and begin cleanup operations. The efforts are being hampered as the port is closed due to poor visibility. In the Middle East, Saudi Arabia says it foiled a boat attack of Yanbu today. Today, Saudi Arabia said it had intercepted an explosive-laden boat off the Red Sea port of Yanbu after maritime security firms cited unconfirmed reports of an attack on a vessel in the area. A Saudi defense minister's statement on state media did not say whether there had been any damage as a result of the operation by the Saudi Navy to intercept and destroy the remote-controlled boat. Now, security firm Dryad Global had earlier said it received unconfirmed reports that a vessel, possibly the oil tanker NCC Dammam, owned by a unit of the Saudi firm Bahri, had been attacked off Yanbu. Now, vessels had previously come under attack in the Red Sea waters. In December, Saudi Arabia said a tanker anchored at the Jeddah port was hit by an explosive-laden boat. Now, this followed a separate incident at another Saudi terminal on the Red Sea, where a tanker was damaged by an explosion. In healthcare, Russia has fully vaccinated 7.7 million people against COVID-19. Russia has vaccinated 12.1 million people against COVID-19, of whom 7.7 had been given both doses. Now, the figure is up from around 8 million cited by Gilkovia early this month. Now, Gilkovia also told state television that there was a risk of seasonal rise in COVID-19 cases in May. Russia reported 8,053 new COVID-19 cases for today, including 2,098 in the capital city, Moscow, taking the official national tally since the pandemic began to 4,779,425. Since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in Russia, they have experienced 108,980 deaths and 4,402,678 recoveries. In America, the U.S. Supreme Court takes major case on carrying concealed handguns. The U.S. Supreme Court stepped back into the heated debate over gun rights this week, agreeing to hear a challenge backed by the National Rifle Association to the New York State's restriction on people carrying concealed handguns in public in a case that could further undermine firearm control efforts nationally. Now, the justices took up an appeal by two gun owners and the New York affiliate of the NRA, an influential gun rights group, of a lower court ruling throwing out their challenge to the restrictions on concealed handguns outside of the home. Now, lower courts rejected the argument made by the plaintiffs that the restrictions violated the U.S. Constitution's Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. The lawsuit seeks an unfettered right to carry concealed handguns in public. Now, the case could lead to the most consequential ruling on the Second Amendment scope in more than a decade. Now, the court's 6-3 conservative majority is seen as sympathetic to an expansive view of the Second Amendment rights. In business, UPS revenue tops estimates as pandemic drives e-commerce deliveries. United Parcel Service topped Wall Street estimates for quarterly review and revenue today as the world's biggest parcel delivery company benefited from a surge in online purchases during the COVID-19 pandemic, sending its shares up 6%. Now, UPS has been experiencing a boom in e-commerce deliveries as consumers stay at home during the pandemic, ordered everything from exercise bikes to sofas. Now, rival Dutch Post last month raised its medium-term financial targets, predicting that the boom in e-commerce driven by the coronavirus outbreak will continue and world trade will gradually recover. So UPS, which is also delivering COVID-19 vaccines, said revenues in its U.S. domestic unit rose 22.3%, led by growth from small and medium-sized businesses. Now, excluding items, the company earned $2.77 per share. Total revenue rose 27% to $22.9 billion, beating estimates of $20.49 billion. And finally today in technology, as tech faces a reckoning, what you do offline can get you banned. Earlier this month, Twitch announced it would start banning users for behavior away from its site. The move by Amazon Incorporated's live streaming platform involved hiring a law firm to conduct investigations into users, into their misconduct, a new twist in the latest prominent example of tech companies acting on off-service behavior of their customers. Now, how platforms enforce against activities conducted not just on the service, but on other sites and offline is often only described vaguely in their rules. But as lawmakers and researchers examine tech's relationship with real-world violence or harm, this moderation is gaining attention. You see, while other groups have praised platforms for being proactive in protecting users, others criticize them for infringing on civil liberties. Similar digital platforms like Facebook have rules banning users from anything from they would deem dangerous, like involved in terrorist activities, organized hate, or criminal groups, convicted sex offenders, and mass murderers. Now, people who have murdered one person are mostly allowed. A spokeswoman said, due to the crime's volume. So it depends on how many people you actually murder, I guess. Now, last year, Facebook expanded the list to include militarized social movements and violence-inducing conspiracy networks like QAnon. For Midday, this is Charles Rivers. Thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again tomorrow.